It is not a strategy. I think what it is that I always have the challenge of trying to maximize the potentiality of the image for telling a story. And somehow I feel that, I mean, I do have dialogue, or rather monologues, one could say, even when it's a dialogue, because I use language as a form of percussion, as a form of tonality to add to the scene, often nonsensical things being said, such as, you know, the neighbor, or, you know, but I mean, the idea of infusing information via the dialogue, for me, might become an easy way. And so, you know, when I write a script, I do have a little more, not very much more, but a little more dialogue. And as I do the various versions, I try to challenge myself into the possibility of trying to tell the story without, and let the images, or say, let the poetics, you know, tell of a potential dialogue. And I feel that silence is, in my opinion, a lot stronger when it achieves its illimited signification. And I feel that the spectator, and this is normally a desire on my part, is that the spectator actually somehow participates in the making of the image, and therefore of, let's say, filling the empty, or the empty spaces, or the blanks. And I find silence to be pregnant with so much potentiality for that which has not been said. And I think that there's so much inner dialogue that we have in our everyday life, and I want to leave some space for that credible inner dialogue. So I think it's also the fact that silence is potentially a place of faith for an alternative way of seeing things, of saying things as well. And so, and it's a place where we are maybe destabilized. And I feel that silence somehow is, or it challenges preconceived notions, and brings us to a place closer to ourselves existentially. And that's why it's a bit destabilizing to individuals. But silence is very destabilizing to also power structures. And so this is the multifacets of silence, and it's what it can bring to us. And that's really what is rather appealing to me, to maintain, if possible, when possible, without dialogue. When we say silence, just to put on the margin, we're not talking about silence just because there's no dialogue, because in my films there's a tremendous amount of sound. And when I make the film, believe me, the tracks of the mixing room for the sound editing and the sound mixing is totally filled up. So, but what I try to do is also have a certain participation for all the nature that is around, and for all the sounds that are not necessarily on screen, but they are, let's say, narrating our story also off screen. So when I choose a bird, or I choose a wind, this is a very precise place and type of wind that participates in the making of the image. So to make the silence, there's so much sound that goes in there. So why not take out language?